So welcome everyone. My name is Avana Andrade, and I'm a Senior Sustainability Coordinator at San Mateo County in our Office of Sustainability. I lead climate mitigation programs, including the Regionally Integrated Climate Action Planning Support Working Group, in addition to the Forum Committee, among other things. The forum today is focusing on equitable building decarbonization. We'll be addressing whether decarbonization efforts do, in fact, increase the risk of displacement and what some approaches are towards addressing this issue. I'll be facilitating and helping to moderate the Q&A sessions along with my colleagues, Kellen Damon and Michaela Topi at Frontier Energy. Before we get started with the speakers, let's do a quick review of Zoom functions. Your video camera is not needed. Please use the chat feature to interact with panelists and other participants, but please use the Q&A function for questions. It's easier for us if you don't use the chat for your question. We'll be tracking and monitoring the Q&A for your questions, so make sure you put those there. We'll be breaking for questions throughout the forum. Here's a reminder of the location of the icons you will be able to use. So just chat for interacting with other folks, and then the Q&A just for your questions. So I want to take just a few minutes to introduce BayREN. BayREN is, or Bay Area Regional Energy Network, is a highly effective and trusted government organization for the delivery of targeted, integrated, regional scale climate solutions focused on energy, water, and resiliency. BayREN has been in operation since 2013, but the local governments and program managers that make up BayREN have been working on energy issues much longer. BayREN builds on the experience and knowledge of local governments to address critical needs, fill service gaps, and establish innovative solutions. BayREN covers the 9 Bay Area counties and successfully implements a suite of programs and services to 20% of California's population. BayREN has proven that the regional local government model is a viable approach to addressing part of the solution to reduce carbon emissions in California. BayREN's overarching goals are to build local capacity by providing a host of services and programs for local governments and their communities, focus on solutions by building on the experience and knowledge of local governments. Its third overarching goal is to situate climate change and climate resiliency as drivers in its programs. BayREN's growing energy efficiency programs and services reduce energy-related greenhouse gas impacts and address other climate-related issues, including water conservation, air quality, and resiliency. And finally, its fourth overarching goal is to provide economic development opportunities. BayREN's programs and services directly contribute to the local economy by increasing jobs, providing professional training, and improving building stock and building resiliency. So BayREN, as a local government collaboration, has a representative from each of the 9 Bay Area counties. We're going to do a quick introduction and icebreaker, so all of you get to know who your local BayREN rep is. The icebreaker question today is, what are your concerns about the impacts of electrification on tenants, and/or how are public agencies or community-based organizations in your area addressing equitable building decarbonization? So one of our reps, Demian, is out sick today, so we won't be hearing from him. I'll pass it first to Christine. Christine, please go ahead.
Good morning. Out of order, that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. My name's Christine Condon. I am with the County of Sonoma. I'm an energy and sustainability analyst in the Climate Action and Resiliency Division and the BayREN Codes and Standards rep for Sonoma County. And some concerns that I have about decarbonization of rental housing in Sonoma County are related to the already very high cost of living in Sonoma County and the cost of housing, and particularly the cost of rental housing and the low supply of affordable housing, and a concern that the cost of electrification upgrades might increase rents to an even more unaffordable rate. And then county residents that I've spoken with are also concerned about their ability to heat their homes and cook during power outages after switching to electric space conditioning and cooking.
Thank you, Christine. I realized I went out of order. Emily, if you wouldn't mind chiming in, thank you.
Everyone, my name is Emily Alvarez and I work for Stop Waste, which is the Alameda County representative for BayREN. Stop Waste is also the lead for BayREN's multifamily program. And so the multifamily program has been looking at restructuring its incentives. Typically, the multifamily program gives rebates for buildings to upgrade their energy efficiency or to go all electric, and those rebates are done per unit. And we're kind of a flat amount, no matter what kind of building it was. So starting next year, it's looking like that program will have still a flat unit, a flat rebate per unit, but then there'll be extra bonus incentives or layering available for buildings that are in either air quality burdened areas, income burdened areas, or other things to hopefully be able to bring down the costs of some of these measures, because as Christine said, they can be very expensive.
Thank you. I guess we'll move on to Kelly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kellen Damon. I work with County Marin. I'm a BayREN rep with Marin County. So I went about this question asking the Community Land Trust of West Marin, also known as CLAM, what they thought, because they have done some great work in upgrading properties in their portfolio, including electrification projects. And some of the challenges they face for electrifying their multifamily buildings were the time it takes to apply to grants. They also receive grants from our federal grants division with Marin County, the electrical panel upgrades, and finding knowledgeable contractors to not only install but service the equipment. They're in a rural region of Marin County, so getting contractors to go out there can be an issue. And I just want to point out that we had CLAM present at one of our BayREN forums, the Q2 forum, and all that is available on the BayREN website. If you go on and look at events, you can find that material and recordings. Thanks, Avana.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you, Kellen. Let's move on to Barry. Oh, excuse me, Deborah.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Deborah Elliott from Napa County, and I am the Codes and Standards BayREN rep for Napa County. I wanted to share my concerns today about the increased potential cost of utility bills to residents. So in addition to what Christine mentioned about overall cost, there's also concern about potential increase to utility bills, as well as the need for, some of our most vulnerable tenants to purchase new cooking equipment for induction stoves if there's a switch from gas to electric, and also just highlighting again Christine's concerns about power outages, which we do see a lot in the North Bay, the issues there around loss of heating and cooling equipment, and the potential increase in generators that we might see when that happens. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Deborah. Barry.
Hi, good morning. I'm Barry Hooper. I'm a Senior Green Building Coordinator with the City and County of San Francisco. And I'm really excited about today's forum because these problems my colleagues in other counties have outlined apply acutely in San Francisco, where more than 2/3 of housing units are rental, and more than 2/3 are in multifamily housing. There are a number of laws and city agencies that seek to provide protection to tenants, but we have a fundamental problem that the wealthiest 20% of San Francisco earns 26 times as much per year as the 20% with the least resources. And so everything we can do to better understand how we can help San Francisco residents have safe and comfortable homes that are supplied with clean energy is key to us. Thanks.
Thank you, Barry. Alara, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Alara Moju, and I'm Avana's coworker over at the Office of Sustainability for San Mateo County. And I work on all BayREN residential programs and our codes and standards, as well as green labeling program. What I think concerns me the most as far as impacts of electrification on tenants is the people that we think of least, or the forgotten people, and the people that have more nuanced situations. And in this case, I'm referring to undocumented tenants. It's an area where it's a little blurry as to how does having upgrades in their home going to affect them and impact them in their safety, in their space, as well as other issues that might also correlate with that population, such as having a few more tenants living with them that might be on their lease, for example, and just sort of not necessarily protecting, but respecting and understanding the nuances that happen with some of these more marginalized groups. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Alara. Brianne.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brianne Boyle, and I work in the Office of Sustainability at Santa Clara County, and I'm the BayREN codes rep for Santa Clara County. And as a renter myself, one of the biggest concerns I have is that if landlords and building owners are required to electrify their rental units, they might defer other more essential maintenance and upgrades. And my other concern is that they might not make the electrification upgrades to code if they just want to get the work done quickly and cheaply to appease their tenants. And we know there's already a lot of unpermitted work that happens, especially in the more rural areas of Santa Clara County.
Thank you, Brianne. Jay Paul.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Jay Paul Harrington. I work for Solano Economic Development Corporation, and we are the BayREN rep for the County of Solano. Share the same concerns as everyone else regarding rent increases. Another perspective is that the increased cost may make property owners decide that it's too costly to operate within Solano County. And they might not expand on existing sites or continue to build new housing, and might not perform the performance upgrades for fear that it might trigger an electrification code. So thank you very much. It's important information today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay Paul. We've heard from Christine. Thank you again, Christine. And Karen Christensen is our AVAG MTC rep. She is out attending to family matters, in and out today. So we won't be hearing from her today. I'll be moving on now. Let's see, here we go. So BayREN has 6 different programs, including the single family and multifamily home programs, the green labeling program, a BayREN business program, a water conservation program, and the codes and standards program, which is bringing you this forum today. The codes and standards program has 2 main areas of focus: compliance improvement, that looks at areas for improvement in code enforcement processes, and policy, where we share best practices and develop regional resources for doing things like reach codes. On that note, for reach code support, we encourage you to visit the BayREN website, where we have information on the reach code process and legal requirements. You can also access technical support from reach code experts and utilize customized trainings for building departments about local reach code implementation and enforcement. In addition to that, there are many energy code trainings available for building department staff, both on demand and live. We have 3 upcoming sessions this month and next month on energy code changes in multifamily buildings, another on energy code changes in non-residential buildings, and the 3rd on December 15th on how the energy code treats electrification. So check those out. Those are, especially the last one, is germane for today's forum as well. We also offer municipal zero net energy and zero net carbon technical assistance. So if you're a municipal organization and you're looking at how your buildings can get to ZNE or ZNC, we have resources that can help with that as well. Just a reminder, all presentations and materials will be emailed to you and available to you online after the forum. Before we begin the forum, I do need to give this disclaimer. The views expressed in these presentations are those of the authors, unless they state otherwise, and do not necessarily reflect the position of the Association of Bay Area Governments, the Bay Area Regional Energy Network, or the jurisdictions that BayREN represents. Any questions pertaining to the views and information in the presentations should be directed to the authors. Thank you. So with that, I'm going to get started acquainting you with our agenda. We're going to get started shortly with our first two guest speakers. We're going to be focusing on the intersection of building decarbonization and tenant protection, and then look at tenants' perspective with a project in San Mateo County. We'll be breaking for Q&A and then a break. And then in the second half of our forum, we'll be looking at an exploration of solutions. And we have another great lineup of speakers for you in that section too. So please be sure to stick around. We'll have Q&A, a good section, chunk of time for Q&A and discussion then as well. So with that, I'm going to kick it off to our first guest speakers. We have Eric Rodriguez, who is an assistant director, at the Building Electrification Institute, and Stefan Samaripas, a local policy manager at the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy. I'll let them go ahead and share their screen. Thank you, Eric. Take it away.